Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. We're just sitting around this morning, and I was listening and watching a live that Deb Kellerline and Nancy Carson had done the other day, and I posted on Team Gets Results. A very good conversation. It was kind of like a bit of a mindset conversation, and kind of led to a topic this morning, which is kind of how to become a better you, and what does that mean for everybody, and kind of really trying to address on a getting started sort of a call how we all need to get better at finding our 5-year plan and finding our inside that 5-year plan the types of people that we'd like to be associated with. So I started thinking about this topic and just kind of put some thoughts together, and I thought Nancy and I could share that because the other day she had some really good thoughts around two things that she said that were nuggets that I picked up from the live that she had done, and I'd encourage you to go watch that with Nancy getting interviewed. It's about a 35-minute call that really kind of just shared a little bit about who she is and what her philosophy is. And she said things like, work on yourself first, which is something we've talked about in a lot of different scenarios in Valentus. And she also said, it's not about you. What she meant was it's not about me, right? So in other words, when you're looking in the mirror and you're deciding what you're going to do in your Valentus business, you got to remember that it's really the other person first, your others, your members that you bring in, your customers that you bring in. You have to think about their successes, their journey, and make it more about their business and their success level, so that you can get yourself out of the equation. So you're working on yourself, but on the other hand, when you work in your business, you're not concentrating on your own personal successes. You're trying to help those other people. So there's a couple of thoughts that I had when I started thinking about this topic about a 5-year plan and how does this relate to the DMO and how does it relate to the Getting Started Manual, because I'm realizing the 15 to 25 minutes a day that I'm putting into just recording some of my activities is making me way more productive. I've actually sponsored personally 3 builder packs this month. I haven't done that for probably 6 months, and it's because I've been tracking my progress. I've been noting down when I've been talking with people, and I've been setting myself some follow-up dates inside the DMO that has the different pages for me to do that, journalizing the notes that I'm taking and the dates that I'm looking at talking to that person, and then working them through the process. So, I encourage you all to duplicate that in your own day so that you can work on yourself and a number of different things we're going to cover today. So along these lines, I thought I'd just kind of throw some stuff at Nancy and we can just kind of talk back and forth. But, it's the little things that you do that seem to matter to your 5-year plan, right? So, we're all very, very bad, me included, on kind of sweating the small stuff and not letting stuff go. But, Nancy, you gave a great example the other day about starting off the day and how you continued that journey and you ended up at the passport office and what you did to get yourself out of that negative rut that started off with the alarm going in the morning. So you kind of made reference to just resetting. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that, because you could have swept the small stuff for that entire day and the rest of your day was going to be ruined. So, that's the thing that we all got to start off with here, is to really work on ourselves and remember that you got to let the little things go. So.
Well, it's funny, Don, that you mentioned that, because we've read so many different books that talk about what you put out in the world is what will come back to you. And that's why I always say your vibe attracts your tribe. And that aspect of our negativity, what we were doing there, negativity is it's just as powerful as positivity. And so when you start your day off negative and you're on a negative note, the only way that you can change that is it's a decision. Just as happiness is a decision, there's so many things. It's something you have to decide to do, but you have to be aware of it. And I know John Ramsey talks all the time. He always says nightshade. That's his word for negativity, because it was something that he read in an Earl Nightingale book that just really spoke to him. And it doesn't have to be that negativity. My example when I used it that morning is my alarm went off. Don turned around and he says, "That is the most horrible sound I've ever heard in my life." And of course, didn't let it go, just kind of went with that, and I took it personally. So then now I'm negative. And Dawn says to me, let the dog out. And I say, it's your dog. And then we go back and forth and back and forth. And then we left, and I was late to get to my yoga class. And so now I'm mad because I feel like, and I'm putting it on everybody else, that all of these things are happening to me because of everybody else. And that's the blame game, where you point your finger and it's everybody else's fault. It was my energy. I was the one that was manifesting this negativity. So I get down to the passport office because I finally decide I'm going to do something positive with my day. So I have that on my to-do list. I'm going to get it off my to-do list. I get down there. There's no parking spots because they're working on the roads. Then the sidewalk is closed because they're working on the sidewalk. And I'm going, this can't be happening. All of this stuff, like, it just started feeling like, and trust me, in my head, it was everyone else's fault. So I go up to the passport office, and sure enough, they can't do the passport for me because they're not going to be able to use the identification that I have with me. So I go down to the car, and I have a little pity party in the car because everything to me was feeling negative, negative, negative. The world was against me, and I made a decision. At that point, I realized that I was manifesting the negativity. I sat down, I put motivation into my Google pattern in my phone, and I watched a little video, just a little video. And I had a little cry because most of those motivational videos make you cry. I had a little cry, but I felt good. And I walked back into the passport office, and of course the guys were on break at working, and they said, oh, no, here, you can walk down the sidewalk, no big deal. We're just not working right now. And I'm going, wow, that really worked. And so now my whole energy has changed. And I walk up to the passport office, I go upstairs, and now I have the right identification with me. They process the passport, no problem. Everything is going tickety-boo. I come back downstairs. Everything changed from that point forward, but it was a change in my mindset. And I was creating all of the negative things that were happening to me. It was manifested from my energy. And once I changed my energy, everything went positive.
And, you know, and that story, when I saw her do that live, just kind of thought in my head, you know, that's what we're all, you know, conditioned to be around, it seems like, in our lives, is negativity. It seems like we don't know how to run from it. So that was a great story. So, again, how do you become a better you? Well, you know what, as you mentioned, they're controlling your emotions, and don't let them control you, and don't let yourself sleep on them is obvious. We've heard this in the past in relationships. You know, don't go to bed mad. Get it out, get it over with so you can wake up in the morning with a refreshed sort of start. You know, these types of things like moving our bodies. I mean, you've heard this. If you haven't heard this, you need to understand this. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's just the way it is to make yourself better. You've got to get out there and be active, and that means helping our products help ourselves, which means, you know what, they're great products, but they do need some support of you getting moving and getting off the couch and doing some things, eating better, you know, everything in moderation. We're not saying ever in Valentus that you can't eat a chocolate bar or have a adult beverage or have a pizza. Gosh, we went out the other night and had an incredible dinner, Nancy and I and our daughter, at a restaurant that they'd never been to, and it was interesting. Like mindset, I said to them, well, we're going to go to a restaurant that I'd been to as a kid. You guys are going to really like it. And they both weren't motivated. They both didn't like the idea because their mind had already made up that this is an old place that's not going to be any good, and why would we want to go there? And so when we got there and ordered this Greek salad and ordered this pizza, they both ate every bit of food that was on the table and said to the waitress, my God, this is the most amazing food. It's a mindset, right? And they had preconceived what they thought they were going to have for an experience, but they left there feeling really good about it, and I know they'll go back, each of them, with their friends. So, you know, you've got to be ready to make a kind of a valuable effort to help friends understand what they can do. And so when we start talking about how do I work on myself, you know what, you've got to take time for you every day. So that's when Nancy makes reference to the things she did when she first discovered a cup of coffee, and how that now became a ability to sort of have that little me time in the morning. So, you know what, how do you become a better you? You need to find some me time.
Well, I didn't know the secret that everybody has that we're coffee drinkers. I was not a coffee drinker until I was introduced to our wonderful Valentus products. And I realized the actual ritual of creating and making your cup of coffee in the morning is rather sacred to most people. You get to spend the time getting your coffee together, and then you sit down, and people see you with your coffee cup in your hand, and they leave you alone for a few minutes. It's like, oh, she's having her cup of coffee. And so I had no idea that this existed. In every other aspect of my morning, I was always available to drop what I was doing because it was unimportant and do for somebody else. And this was the very first time when I held a cup of coffee in my hand that I realized, wow, everybody recognizes that this is something that I need to do to start my day, and they leave me alone. And I said, if I would have known about this ritual, I would have walked around with a coffee cup in my hand a lot sooner.
You know, it's funny that she says that because, you know, there's so many people that always say, let's go for coffee. And what you got to relate that to when I'm relating it to this topic of how do you become a better you is, you know, your time is a valuable gift you give others. So when you commit to going having coffee with somebody, you're giving them the gift of your time, and you're truly sitting there and you're in that moment with them. So how do you become a better you? Use your time valuable when you offer it to others and make sure that you bring value to that get-together. It's so important that you're just not a person that sits there and has nothing to offer the conversation, and that means you've got to work on yourself, right? And so part of that is getting out of your comfort zone. We've heard all these things, and how do I become a better you? Well, you got to get out of your comfort zone, which means a very simple exercise that I want you all to consider doing after this call is go out there and teach and duplicate this question and this sort of mindset going forward, right? I'm going to do something myself that I've never done before because I've been afraid to do it. I'm just going to go and do it. Even if I fail at it, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do something I always said I couldn't do. If it means, you know, going for a drive at night because you're afraid to drive, or if it means, you know, going bowling or going to a concert or going to a hockey game or going somewhere where there's people, that might be your comfort zone, that you're not around people. You've got to find that ability to get out of your comfort zone to be a better you. And that starts with a little exercise that you work on yourself, because you got to learn, okay, that, you know, when you say no, it's because you realize that you might be over your limit already. So learning to say no is a good thing when it comes to working on you, because sometimes you need that me time. Sometimes you need that time to develop who you are and your ability to offer more to other people by creating some space for yourself so that you can, when you're in the moment to offer somebody that time, you're there to offer them that time. Because you gotta never assume you know, things when you're talking. You've heard this before, right? Make an ass out of you and me when you assume. Well, the key here is you got to ask for clarification. And so when you're starting to work with people, as we do in this business, because it is a relationship business, you know, the most important thing that you could do is never assume that they understand what it is that you're saying. Never assume that they are absolutely all in. Never assume that they get how to use the products properly, or the compensation plan, or where to go and find a call for Zoom opportunity meetings, or how to get on a conference call, or how to download the new app, or how to find the back office, or how to learn anything that you already knew. No, never assume. The key to working on how to be a better you is to ask for clarification. I always ask those people during the journey how you can help them. Being in the moment with them means you've got to get clarification from them so that they can, you know, give you some feedback on what they're looking for. Never assume. It's so important that you don't do that. And you know what, folks? You know, you've got to learn, and this is something that I absolutely have a real petty I don't know if it's a pity party. No, it's not the right word. I have a real problem with it. I've seen it for so many years now. It's the darn phone. It's such a mandatory part of our lives now. And we are all so glued to it. But here's the problem. Texting is killing our relationships. Texting is killing just so much of what we are made of as humans. We are made to communicate. And if we stop communicating in person, we're in trouble. So pick up the damn phone and call some people and talk to them in real words and real people and real tonality and real emotions so that they can understand who you are. You want to be better you? Then show them who you are, not by a damn text. Talk to them. Meet with them. Go to have a coffee face-to-face and show them that you are a better you, and that will help you in your business. I promise you. Yes, texting is important to get across what we want to do, and we do it, and we need to do that. And the company does it now too with the text program that I encourage you all to get on to get ahead of the calls. But it is absolutely causing us all to sit apart. I mean, look in a room and see everybody on their phone, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Facebook, and that's what they're doing across the table at dinners. The dinner parties are killing the restaurant industry because people are sitting there texting before they even order, and the waitress comes and says, "Hey, would you like to order now?" And they haven't even started even looking at the menu. Why? Because they're killing the industry because they're using their phones. What am I saying to you there? I'm saying work on you. So how do you work on you? Offer something to other people with words, with emotions, and I promise you'll have some success. You know what? You're not always right? You have to think of things from the other side. I'm very much an emotional person. I'm an affectionate person. I need words of affirmation, and my wife will often say to me things like, you know what? You have to let other people have an idea what they want to do. Even last night when we had some folks that were going to join us, I said, well, let's go watch the game at a brew pub. Well, they didn't want to do that, so suddenly they weren't interested. But, it's like look at things from the other side. It's so important that you own up to your own mistakes and realize that this 5-year journey you're going to be on really starts with you, because you've got to make that pact with yourself. You've got to reset your journey. And I'm going to ask all of you right now to honor your own work ethic, honor who you are and where you want to go and what you want to do with Valentus. And I want you all to commit another year right now, today. I want you to go to your teams and reset your business with them and say, guys, you know what? We've done some things, we've learned some things, but the training wheels are off and we're going to reset our business. I'm making a pact that I'm going to commit my next year to making myself better so I can offer more to you, and I'm hoping that you do that with me. Are you interested? Because I'm looking for 4 canoes. I'm looking for people to join me on this journey. That's kind of the whole process of working on you, right? And my wife is somebody who, is probably the best at this, and I want her to run with this a little bit, but when you avoid gossip, when you avoid talking about people from a standpoint of not knowing for sure what's going on. I read this many years ago that Socrates said, when somebody said to him, did you hear about so-and-so? And Socrates said, well, do you know for sure that what you're saying to me is something that you can absolutely guarantee happen? And they said, no, but so-and-so told me. Well, then don't tell me. I don't want to know. Because that gossip is not reality. And Nancy's very good in talking from a reality standpoint when it comes to, rumors and things like that. The key here is to work better on yourself. Avoid the gossip.
Well, I think that just breaks down to plugging into positivity too, Don. I think I said that in my live. I am a big believer in that you can get on the phone with somebody and commiserate in your negativity, and so you can say one thing and the person gets agreeable and you start going along. I really don't believe in that. I am very aware of the negativity. I try and not plug myself into it. I see it when it's happening. And if I'm talking to somebody, even if I really care about them and they're just in the wrong mind space, I say, you know what, I got something I got to do. I get off of the phone and I plug back into something that is positive. So that's why we always say plug into your upline. I like to think that your upline has usually got a really good headspace going on because they've already developed their belief in the company. When you have a strong belief and a passion in what you do, that comes across as just really positive. That's where your posture lives. Your posture lives in your belief. And I can't think of somebody or anybody that believes more in this company than your upline, because they've already had the successes and they've already been so positive. So if you get on the phone, and I'm really thinking it's not going to happen, but if you get on the phone and your upline starts agreeing with you and you're talking about something negative, go, wow, I need to unplug from you right now because you need to keep it positive. And it can just be the littlest little fragment, but if somebody's getting agreeable with you and you are starting off on a negative note, unplug and plug into something positive. It doesn't even necessarily have to be your upline. If what makes you feel good in your heart is some really good music, put some music on and dance around a little bit. Be a little foolish. Do something great for somebody. Go get a cup of coffee. Pay it forward. Do something that fills your cup, something that fills your heart, that makes you feel positive. Christmas time is an opportunity right now for anybody to go out and do something for somebody else that's going to make you feel incredibly fulfilled. So I'm just telling you that it's a choice. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to be positive. You can choose to have that mindset. Recognize the pitfalls. See the negativity. It's not that the person that's negative is in a bad place. If you can't draw them out with your positivity because you're plugging into them, then you need to just step back, because you need 10 positive things for every one negative, and you need to find that equilibrium for yourself. So it's just so imperative when you're stuck in a negativity vortex to plug into positivity. It could be leave your house, go to the mall, look at a Christmas tree and hear some Christmas carols, whatever fills your heart, whatever makes you feel good. Go in and find somebody that's doing a senior citizen program that they want a gift where you got to give them a box of chocolates, and go get a box of chocolates and plug into that. something that fills your heart, something that makes you feel good, because the next person you talk to, I guarantee it's going to be a more positive experience. I guarantee it's going to be a more positive experience.
So, avoiding gossiping and getting inside your own space and being truly to the moment, you also have to understand that it's okay to fail. It really is. Here's a great line. You must be a beginner before you're an expert. We all start somewhere. So, as Nancy's saying, the earning is in the doing, and work on yourself first. It's so important that and as she said, they're paying it forward. It costs nothing to give a compliment, really. It costs nothing to give somebody that smile on their face. Man, we were sitting in the restaurant, and this lady was sitting all by herself, having dinner all by herself, having a glass of wine. And I didn't know if Nancy or Jacqueline noticed, but as we walked by, I kind of felt bad. I almost felt after we should have invited her over, but as we walked by, I just said, you know what, have a wonderful rest of your evening. And, she smiled, and that maybe was a moment that made her feel good. I was just being kind, right? And, working hard is important, but you've got to find something in the good work ethic that you can offer others that's going to help you become a better you. You got to be thankful for the little successes. You've got to encourage others to inspire confidence in the inconfidence. Think about that. That's a crazy statement, but inspire confidence in the unconfident people. If you can do that, you're helping others, and that means you're working on you. If you're leading by example, and this is really important for you to understand, actions speak louder than words, right? Lead, follow, or get out of the way. Your group, your team, your business will grow as a result of the speed of the leader. If you're out there doing the things, if you're on the calls, if you're filling in a DMO and sharing the points that you're actually accumulating with your team, they will do it. Until you do it, they will not do it. They want to see that you're doing it and that you believe in the process of tracking and becoming accountable. You can't, folks, don't compare to stay on course. That's not the thing here, okay? Your success is unique to you. Don't compare to say, I'm only at an emerald level when somebody else went to the structured emerald level. That's unique to you. Your success is your success, and be satisfied with that. And that's where the DMO is the most important thing, okay? So here are the points to finish off our call to do with your DMO and what we really want you to get your head around, okay? These are the things. If it means waking up in the morning a little early to fill out your points from the day before, that's your me time. Maybe that's when you do it. When you're having your coffee, fill in your DMO. Start planning your roadmap that moment. Prioritize what it is you're trying to accomplish for the day. Get some self-respect. Be honest with yourself. It only takes 15 to 20 minutes to record down your daily method of operation activity, because remember, all activity causes productivity. And as you go through this exercise, surround yourself with successful people. Those are the people in your upline, as Nancy said, that are doing it. Reach out to them. Let them know you're there, and let them know you're having some success in your daily method of operation, and encourage them to do the same if they're not already. Find that person that's doing it and plug into them. Who do you want to be like? Find them. That's an important part of your daily method of operation. Talk about your actions rather than, the others are doing what. Your actions will be in your DMO. The actions that you do on a daily basis will be in your DMO. You'll see it. It'll be in writing. The 1 point for just reaching out and saying hello to somebody and giving them a sample. The 2 points for a follow-up. Sending out 5 samples off of our Valentus samples program. They're all worth points. They all go on your DMO. The activity of being on a training call. The call today. You're on this call today. You know what? You're getting points for being on this call today. It's important for you to understand that. When you're doing any self-development, when you're on an online training like this, you're getting 3 points. If you're on a Valentus, you're going to a trade show, you're attending anything, organize anything, you get points for that. That all is trackable. It's accountability. It's so important for you to track inside your DMO what it is you're doing. And obviously, one of the most important parts of your DMO is to smile. When you smile, your stress goes away. And so that can come from just using your products. That can come from you just being able to reaching out and, as Nancy said, put on something positive so you can smile again. Get the negative out of your life. That will be part of your DMO. Listening to some personal development or something that makes you feel good is a point getter. It's a stress go away method. Smile, right? Set those goals, folks, and work towards them. If you plan to succeed, that will absolutely mean you won't fail. It's not us that fails. It's the fact that we never made a plan that we followed on. And it's no different when we sponsor people or attempt to sponsor people. Those folks are saying no to themselves because they've never even heard this conversation before. They've never been said, hey, you need a daily method of operation. You know what? You can't necessarily dump all the toolbox on them, but be very reference orientated to the fact that, you know, the performance that you have is based on what you do. And that can be tracked in your DMO.
I just wanted to say that self-respect, self-worth, and self-love all start with self, and to stop looking outside of yourself for your value, because you're in charge of how you feel. And today, I want you all to choose happiness, because you're in charge of how you feel, and you need to choose happiness. I've said multiple times, if you are talking to people on the phone and you are not in the right headspace, you are doing yourself a disservice. You cannot push a rope. Step back, take a break. I've told this to multiple people that have phoned me. They've said, you know what, I'm talking, I'm doing this, and I'm going, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm already feeling in your words the despair and the hesitation in your words. I feel your words. And so will anybody else. So take a break. Go eat a piece of chocolate. Come back. Watch a movie. Mind dump. Do something, whatever it is that you need to do, and come back in the right mindset, and it's going to be a totally different game changer for you.
So, you know, that's how you work on yourself. That was, 27, 28 minutes of a conversation about you. So I just placed on our Team Gets Results comment, hashtag, it's not about you. And so what I'm going to ask you all to do is I'm going to ask you to go out, spend the time, introduce as many of your team to this 30 minutes. Introduce them, and when they have listened to this, I want you all to have them put on their little comment, hashtag, it's not about you. And when you get your head around the fact that it is not about you, it's your team, it's working on yourself, it's helping others become successful, your business is going to grow. When you have them spend 30 minutes to listen to this call and they come in and make a comment here, it's not about you. I promise you that they'll make a commitment for a year with you. They'll give you the time to work on themselves. They'll give you the time to give them some more, and it'll allow you to be a better you. You've got to begin duplicating, folks. Use the tools, not your vocabulary out of the gate. Let them see the duplication in using the share program, the Ditto Talks, the other things that are available to them, the movies, the pre-enroll video, the websites. This is the key, not your words. It's your passion to duplicate the process that will bring you success. So, hashtag, it's not about you. Are you all in? I know I am. And I just saw Beverly just post right now, hashtag, it's not about you. So I want to see this this TikTok training call. Fill the comments up with as many of your team as possible. Share this audio with your team and let them commit to you and let them commit to themselves and say, hashtag, it's not about you. Have a great Sunday, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the call. Nancy and I enjoyed doing it. And you know what? It is not about you. Take care, everyone. Say goodbye, Nancy.
Happy Thanksgiving past, by the way, to all of our U.S. friends out there.
Okay, bye-bye.